Thank you for clicking in to explore the far-reaching impacts of the choices we make, one conversation at a time. This is the ripple effect. In today's rapidly evolving housing market, home builders are quickly becoming the go-to option for most buyers. Today, we want to go ahead and cover a different home builder and get their perspective on it. We want to cover more than one of each of these topics because we don't want to seem biased to any one builder or company. And we also want to see different aspects of each of their building techniques and so forth, maybe different technologies, so that you can see what works best for you. Today we have with us Beth Eubank, who's from Maronda Homes, and she's going to go ahead and tell us a little bit about Maronda Homes and why you might be interested in buying a house from them. And for that, we want to go ahead and switch over to Elizabeth, or Beth, as you want to be called.
Yeah.
If you could go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about Maronda Homes, we appreciate it.
Well, first I want to just start by saying thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for just this wonderful opportunity to talk about what I feel passionate about. I love Maronda Homes. I've been selling Maronda Homes for over 5 years, and it's just been amazing. I just feel so fortunate. I was a teacher for 30 years, and I started working on my real estate license in about 2014 in South Carolina, and I did it during the summers. And then once I got my real estate license, then I thought, okay, after 3 years of that, I got my broker's license. And then I thought, you know what, when I finish teaching, I want to move to Florida. So I told my husband, I said, I'm going to get my license because there's no reciprocity, right? So I said, I'm going to get my license in Florida, and then I'm going to move to Florida. I'm going to take the very first new home sales position that I get. And so I did. So I got my license in Florida, got my broker's license after that. And then I said, okay, I'm going to start applying for jobs. And so
Wait. But after 30 years of teaching and a PhD, why real estate? You could have done anything.
Well, I know, but okay, so I mostly taught in private schools throughout my tenure. And honestly, I didn't have a whole lot of money saved, right? So I thought, okay, well, what's a great way to, make money with where I can still educate and help people? So for me, it's not about selling. I don't care if you buy or not. I just want to educate you and help you get out of the rent race. I want to help you find your dream home. I want to help you discover the beauty of Palm Coast. You know what? There's a lot of great builders out in Palm Coast. It's not just Maronda. I mean, for me, it was just Maronda, and I'm so thankful that's where I ended. But it was really funny. I did get this job, and I came to Palm Coast sight unseen. I didn't know anything other than what you read on the internet about Maronda, and I just feel so incredibly fortunate that I got to be here in Palm Coast and that I got to sell Maronda Home. And 5 years later, I'm still selling Maronda Homes, and I still believe in them, and I still love them. And honestly, I've got 2 Maronda Homes. So when we sold our home in South Carolina, I needed to put my money somewhere. So, because of capital gains taxes. So I actually had a spec home or it wasn't a spec home. What happened was the people had bought this home, and they had a contingency contract. They had to sell their home first. Well, their home didn't sell in time. And so we gave them their money back, and now it becomes a spec home, right? So we had the spec home, and I thought, what in the world? So I tried every single builder at that time in Palm Coast. I went to every single builder, and I found out really great things about the builders. And, but I kept coming to work every day to Maronda, and I kept coming in the room, and I thought, I'd walk through the house, and I thought, why am I even looking anywhere else? We do this better, this better, this better, this better, whatever. And so I ended up buying that home. And so my husband and I decided we wanted to build a different home because I wanted to be able to pick certain things. I wanted to be able to choose my colors. I wanted to be able to, pick the flooring that I wanted. I wanted to really be able to customize my home. So we lived there while we were building our other house. And very soon after that, I was thinking, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Do I keep this house or do I sell it? Keep, sell, keep, sell. And I was going back and forth. And this was kind of after COVID. And we had bought at just the perfect time in the market. And I didn't want to give up that home. So we ended up renting it out. And so that's kind of the story of how we got here and how I have two Maronda homes. So I love them both. I've been very happy with both. And honestly, if I were to ever get into investing, I literally would buy another Maronda Homes. That's how much I love our homes and I believe in them.
So why do you think that is, as far as the company, what makes the company so great, what makes them who they are, and why you love them so much? Can you expound on the company itself and why you think they're so great?
Yeah, of course. I'd be happy to. So basically, Maronda was founded in 1972 by William Wolfe, and his idea was to provide extremely affordable and quality homes for families. So this was back in 72. And so he started this company. He named Maronda after his three children. So the M.A. is from Marietta. The R.O.N. is from his second child, his son, Ron. And then the D.A. is from his third child, Dan. So put that all together and you have Maronda. And so it is family owned. It is family operated. And honestly, I just love that they're still going at it over 50 years later, 5 decades of that kind of service and trying to build customer satisfaction and just basically building now. We've expanded to 9 states. So he started in Pennsylvania, and now he is in West Virginia, Maryland, Alabama, Florida, Ohio, Kentucky, and Georgia. So we are in a lot of states, and I feel like we are, in Palm Coast. I know one of the things that I love about Maronda is always doing the right thing, trying to always be above board and transparent and, just giving high quality and always being on the edge of technology. There's just so much about Maronda to love.
Does Maronda have a goal of how many homes they want to build every year, or you may not have that statistic? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just a salesperson.
Right,
I don't
right.
really know about Maronda corporate. I don't know what their vision is, but I'm saying if we're already expanding into 9 states, we've already been in there for a good time. I hope to see, that's one of the things that I hope to see, that we continue our expansion. In the future.
The reason I ask is because when you think about the top 10 of the Hortons of the world and the Lennars are building 87,000, 77,000 respectively. Adams does, I think they did like 2,500 a year. I was wondering where you fall. Because you're, like you said, you're like 9 or 8 southern states. Are you in the thousands? Or you guys want to keep it small in more custom and quality? Thought maybe you'd have an idea of that.
Unfortunately, I didn't. I don't know that exact number that where we.
But you
fall.
can speak about the Energy Star. We were talking about that. Can you explain that real quick? You got the award.
Yeah. So all of our homes are Energy Star rated, and I love that our homes are 40% more energy efficient than like other new built homes, or not all. I'm sure there are others that are energy efficient as well. But we are 25% more efficient than other Energy Stars or some other Energy Star rated homes.
And in 23, I believe you guys won the Platinum Builder Award. Are you familiar with that?
I'm really not.
Oh, that's fine.
I
just
ask me about Palm Coast.
No, I pulled that off.
Sorry.
I was thinking last night. Did they win any awards? So I just pulled that off the internet. I thought maybe you wanted to plug it. That's okay.
Sure. We're plug away. Yeah.
Do you know how many actual housing designs you have as far as already done floor plans, and also do you do? I know that Maronda in the past did custom homes. Do you still do custom homes?
So we do not do custom homes. Basically, we do pre-designed homes.
And one of the things that this you were probably going to answer this is that I saw that you had 60 different designs on the website, possibly for someone to choose from. My favorites were the Rockford and the Venice. Is there any Rockfords in Venice available here in Palm Coast?
We used to do Rockfords all the time, but that plan kind of went away at COVID, so we kind of tightened up our floor plan. The floor plans that we do offer here in Palm Coast. The Venice is very strong, however.
Why would the Rockford, with that stone along the base, is there any reason why that would go away after COVID?
The stone, we had so many two-story floor plans, and a lot of times people coming to Florida, unless it's a large family or maybe multi-generational family, they're going to want to stick with a single story oftentimes.
Okay.
So that would be the answer to that. So let me go back to speaking about custom homes. So honestly, we're not a custom builder, right? So we are a production builder that's really, really good at what we do. And I like to think of it as us, being very, very good at what we're doing. We're going to begin with a pre-designed floor plan of your choice. And then you get to choose your options and your colors and your updates. One of the things that I love about Maronda is that we're so flexible. We build 4 ways. So number one, you can build a spec home or buy a spec home, which is a home that's already in progress, right? Or you can use one of our lots that we already own, and you can choose your floor plan, choose your upgrades and your colors. So you have that opportunity to do that. The third way is if you come to me and you say, hey, Beth, I really don't like any of the lots you have, then I'm going to say to you, no problem. Do you see a lot out there that you like? Absolutely. Go find a lot that you love, and we will buy it for you, and we'll build on it. And you still get to choose your floor plan and your colors and your upgrades, right? And then the fourth way that we build in Palm Coast is for people that already own their lot, we will come and build on your lot for you as well. So 4 different ways to build in Palm Coast. And I just love that we do frame or block. So most builders aren't going to give you a choice on what you're using. They're going to say, okay, we only build concrete block. You're going to have concrete block, or you're only going to have frame. But the problem with that is that a lot of people that come from frame homes really love the way a frame home feels. And so we give you a choice of whether you want to buy frame or concrete block.
And that choice is built into the design that you pick, one of the 60 or so designs that you guys may have.
Well,
so you can't just say, like, if I pick a design, let's say I pick the Venice, which is normally frame home, and I say, well, I really like the idea of having block because of hurricanes down here, and it seems a bit more strong. Can you change that frame design to a cinder block design? I don't think you're suggesting that, or are you?
Yeah, so specifically on the Venice, what happens is we have different exteriors, okay? So they're all by letter. So anything with the letter J after it in Palm Coast. Now, it may be different in other divisions and in other areas, but in Palm Coast, if it's got a J behind it, then it's going to be a frame home. And any other letter is actually going to be concrete block. So if you said, Beth, I want to build a Venice A, it's going to be concrete block. Or if you said, Beth, I want to build a Venice B, that's just a little bit different. Now, you keep referring back to stone. We can put stone on any house. That's not a problem. But that's an upgrade. That's one of those things you would personalize, okay, within that confines of the pre-designed floor plan. So you would have the ability to absolutely choose whether you want concrete block. You still get the interior of the home is identical in every way. So you are going to walk in, if the kitchen is here, the kitchen is going to be here. If the bedroom is in the back or the front or whatever, it's still going to be that same interior plan. Mm-hmm. It's just the outside is going to look different, so depending on which one you choose. And that gives people, again, another choice, because we don't all like the same things, right? Mm-hmm. So some people come in and say, oh, I want the Venice B, and then other people come in and I don't like the way the Venice B looks. That looks funny there. I want the Venice A. And so sure, we can do that. I had a lady recently buy a Huntington J, and she bought it because the way the front of it looked was different, and she was into window boxes, and she wanted to put window boxes on all the windows, and it was more symmetrical. And so she was able to do that with the J series, whereas with the A and the B, it didn't have that same front look to it. So everyone,
it sounds like you guys don't do full custom, but you will customize an existing plan to a certain degree.
To a certain degree, yes. So what happens is we have the floor plan there for you, and then within the confines of that floor plan, we allow certain upgrades. So maybe you want a gourmet kitchen or a deluxe master bath, or maybe you want a 3-car garage instead of the space of a 3-car garage, or maybe it only has a 2-car garage and you want to put a 3rd-car garage on it, or maybe you want to extend the lanai, or maybe you want to just add a lanai. Maybe the plan that you love doesn't even have a lanai, and then you can absolutely put a lanai on it. It's just you're working with the confines of whatever is already established. Flex rooms are a great example of that, because flex rooms, we can usually make a flex room into a bedroom. Mm-hmm. So if it's a flex room is exactly what I'm saying. It's like a big open room. You can use it however you want. So I have people that have done all kinds of interesting things with their flex rooms, but they may need it for an office now, but what is it going to look like in 10 years when they don't need that office anymore? Or maybe they have lots of children and they need 5 bedrooms instead of 4, and they can make that into a bedroom, which is going to make the door smaller and put a closet in there. It just depends on how people want to use those flex rooms, but it's really, I love the flexibility. Again, I have to keep coming back to the whole flexibility thing. So
you brought up the word flex, and there's a common trend with some of the other home builders that are talking about flex cash that allows you to modify things, and the builder gives you a little bit of like cash back or incentive, whatever you want to call it, to go ahead and do that. Does Maronda offer anything like this as well, and what's common?
Yeah, so we have different incentives every month. all summer, actually, we had a $20,000 flex cash incentive. So people that were buying our inventory homes could use $20,000 any way they wanted to. So they could maybe, if you wanted to buy down the rate, use $10,000 to buy down the rate, maybe use $5,000 towards closing costs, and maybe reduce the price of the house by $10,000. You could use that flex cash any way that you wanted to within the confines of the law, right? So there are certain percentages that, builders can pay towards closing costs and things. And that's a whole nother, that's a lender kind of thing that they will get into with the consumer, but you do have to be careful of that. And I don't really know all those rules for that, but I know that in some cases they can use 6%. In some cases they can only use 3% of the cost of the home for those flex cash things. But again, that's a little out of my wheelhouse, but I probably know enough to be dangerous, but that would be something they could discuss with their lender. But yes, we do.
So the flex cash can also be used for any type of interior finishes upgrades.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about if you wanted to add a couple more trees to your landscaping? Could you use it for that as well?
Well, the cool thing about Maronda is, so builders in Palm Coast pretty much clear the lot pin to pin, right? So then Palm Coast gives us specifications on what we have to do to the lot to get it ready. So, of course, for Maronda, I don't know how this is with other builders. I'm just talking about Maronda because I know what we do. Mm-hmm. But we go in and we sod the entire lot, right? And then they tell us, okay, you need this much landscaping here, and then you need this number of trees, and that's going to depend on the size of the lot. You might need 6 trees, you might need 4. We don't know, but until we have the lot, right? But they tell us what we have to do for that lot, and then we go back and do it. So a customer that buys a home can absolutely 100% after they close, they can go back and add trees if they want to. But as far as Maronda goes, we're going to give them a beautiful home with with whatever is required, for us by the city.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was just wondering, I'm going to guess that Maronda does anywhere to 3,000 to 5,000 homes across the country. One of the questions I've always thought of is, how do you keep the quality consistent with what you're offering for each home? How do you keep the construction consistent and also the quality of the finishes that you're offering?
Oh, wow. So there's a lot to talk about here. I believe that we maintain quality and consistency across our projects in several ways. So first of all, like I was telling you before, we do have pre-designed floor plans. And we, by using them, we know they've been vetted and, optimized for, many years. And we know that they are, good. We know how much they're going to cost. We are able to keep costs down. We handle a lot of the design and development in-house. So that is a centralized control that continues to keep us consistent. We work with a select group of suppliers that we know we can consistently source very high quality materials. We have experienced contractors. We have experienced builders that have been doing this a long time. We have ongoing training for our employees. We also have regular inspections. So everything that Maronda does is inspected by the city. We're not just, it's not in-house inspectors. So every step of the way, before we can move to the next step, we have city inspectors coming out to check our work.
For example, once you get you'll have a framing inspector that looks at all the framing before you close up the walls or you put the plumbing in.
Exactly.
Okay.
And even more than that, like, so there's like 20, I think there's 24 inspections plus the certificate of occupancy. It's a bunch. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, it's well over 20. And, I believe that they have, after it's cleared and once they put the pad down, and then there's a geotech survey where they come and compact it, and then they do more dirt, and then they compact it again. All of that has to be checked by the city. We do one for the plumbing, all of the rough plumbing, and the drywall, the insulation, the lintel pour. Everything that we do is inspected by the city. And then, of course, there's, I want to say, four inspections at the very end, and then the certificate of occupancy. So we've already been inspected a million times, but and of course I'm exaggerating there, but we've been inspected a lot. But we also invite the customer to have the home inspected. So if they want to spend money out of their pocket to do a home inspection, we are more than happy for them to do that. And then the customer gets to come about 2 weeks before, well, it's a week before they actually close on the home. They spend about 2 hours with their building superintendent. They go through everything in the home. He tells them how to use everything. He tells them where the clean outs are, how to turn the water off. Then they go through the home together, and anything that isn't like they want it, like maybe a contractor hit the wall and there's paint that needs to be touched up. We call them bumps. Okay, so there's a paint bump, or maybe there's a cabinet bump, or maybe the electrician didn't put the light switch on the wall exactly even, or just little cosmetic things like that. We absolutely correct anything that they see. We're going to take care of. And so we have a week to do that, and then they come back for the final walk. And once they go to the final walk, they basically sign a paper saying that everything had been corrected to their happiness level, and they go to closing. So that, I think, really helps keep things consistent as well. And we do customer surveys and feedback, so we're A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau. We have an amazing warranty program. Basically, we do 10 years for structural, 2 years for all of our systems like electrical, plumbing, HVAC. Any of the systems in the home are going to be warranted for 2 years. And then we do 1 year with everything. So that is really nice too.
And some of the materials that you put in there also have their own warranties, like the roof will have a 30-year warranty, or the water heater will have maybe a 10-year warranty or something like that.
Exactly. Right. So, and flooring and, appliances.
But workmanship is a year. Let's say the socket falls out of the wall.
Absolutely.
That's something Maronda would come out and take care of within the year.
Right. Absolutely.
Not that it would. I'm just saying that, people are watching.
Yeah, of course. And, we do surveys, and we want our customers to be happy. I don't want to have to run out of the grocery store because I see somebody that, I helped before, and I've sold, well over 200 homes. I don't know how many I've sold, a bunch in the last 5 years. So I've sold a lot of homes, and I live here in Palm Coast. So I want to be able to hold my head up, and I want people to come to me all the time being able to say, oh, I just love my home. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear that. Right. So I think it's really cool that we do offer such a great warranty program. Even I work for Maronda, and I still had some odd issues. Like, I'll tell you one, it's really funny. So I have an office. My flex space is my office, And so at night, I'm getting old. So at night, by the time, I'm looking at my eyes get tired and I need those extra 4. I chose the extra 4 lights that you can get, right? So that's one of the upgrades. So I'm like, why is it so dark in here? I can't see. I need to go back to the eye doctor. What is going on? And then I looked up and I thought, oh, wait. 1, 2, 3. There was no 4th light in there. And I thought, that is crazy. So I don't have any like special privileges. I went to the warranty page online and I said, I think I'm missing a light. And I wasn't mean about it or anything. I just said, I think I might be missing a light. And so they sent the electrician out there. And sure enough, the drywall people had covered it up and forgotten to cut it out. And so that guy was amazing. The electrician that came out, he was like, oh, I know exactly where it is. And he measures it real carefully and everything. And then he goes, pop. And sure enough, the receptacle was there. It had just gotten covered up. So, sometimes it's just really stupid stuff like that'll happen. But we're there for you. We're not going to just leave you. We're not going to throw you to the wolves. We're going to make sure that things like that get taken care of. And, one of the really cool things about Maronda is that when I got my first home, I didn't build it, but it was an inventory home, like I said. But when I went in there and he did the first walk, we call it the orientation walk. When I did the orientation walk with my building superintendent, he said, over 900 people have touched your home. And I thought he was kidding. But then when I started thinking about it, you think about how many people touch that home between subcontractors, all the people in the warehouses and things like that. It's amazing. And I thought, we're all human and we all make mistakes. And I think that's okay as long as we are willing to go back, own up to it, and fix it. And I think that's what I've been most impressed about with Maronda through my 5 years. We fix it. And if we can make a customer happy and do the right thing, we do try to do that. And I don't think that I would be able to stay with a company that didn't take that kind of ownership. So I know that kind of goes back to the beginning when we were talking about why are you there, but it just kind of came up again now, and it reminded me, oh, that's one of the things that I also love about Maronda. So I wanted to interject that as well.
I had last night I had an option to search the Maronda site.
Oh, good.
And I was curious to see what homes are being offered in Palm Coast or just in the surrounding area. And you can search that site not only by area but also by price, right? Because if I can't afford a $500,000 home, why would I even search that criteria? So but then I said, okay, what is the most expensive home they have? Just if I won the lottery, so you have 800,000 and above. So I searched that. And the question I'm thinking, okay, how now? I saw one just south of here. It was like $899 or something like that. But I was wondering, how does Maronda approach the floor plans, like with the different pricing strategy? Meaning, you guys have like 60, and I'm saying that because I got that from your site. How many I actually counted them. How do they approach that floor plan? And you kind of touched on it. You're saying that people in Florida really want the one floor. And
not all people,
but
right.
There has to be a kind of a logic behind what you're offering here as opposed to what you're offering in the Alabama or whatever other states you're in.
Right. So they do a lot of customer research to figure out what is going to be popular, what trends are going down in a particular area. And so here we offer in Palm Coast, we have 14 floor plans, and we we establish them in collections, if you will. So we have a focus collection, which basically has homes that range from 1,276 square feet to 1,546 square feet. And then we have an Americana series, which starts at 1,602 square feet and goes to like 2,286 square feet. And then our top of the line collection in Palm Coast would be our Renaissance collection, which goes from about 2,450 square feet or so to about 4,500 square feet, or 3,500 square feet. So I almost said over 4,000 because we used to do a plan that was 4,075 square feet, but that one has been dropped, at least for the time being. But yeah, we do have a variety of homes and a variety of floor plans that you can choose from. And within each of those floor plans, again, those are the pre-designed floor plans, but there's so many options that you can add to them, to make it very personalized and to have a customized feel to it, even though we're not a custom home. So by not being a custom home builder, we are able to offer you a more affordable price, yet still give you a customized feel.
Mm-hmm.
I think in a way, this is where home builders are really setting themselves apart. Is they offer a lot more options. They give people kind of that custom feeling, and then they have the warranties and so forth that we talked about earlier. Another thing is you got the consistency. You get to see the product, that how many homes they've built and so forth. And one thing I want to talk about with you is the materials. You said you have your own suppliers and everything like that. What does Maronda do that might be different than other builders that sets them apart? What kind of materials do they use? What kind of technology do they use that might be different that people are looking for when they're looking at home builders? What would it be that would make them choose Maronda?
So with Maronda, I'm not sure how they do it in other parts of the states, okay, right? So I really just know that our Florida market here in the Jacksonville area. But I will tell you that Maronda does have a warehouse in Sanford, and we build all of our walls and our roof trusses in Sanford, so they're in a controlled environment. Then they are shipped to the job site, and then they're assembled on site by our subcontractors. So that presents a huge quality, and I don't know what's the right word for it. Helping everything stay consistent and having high quality. We're not worried about a subcontractor coming in and cutting the material the wrong size and wasting it because he cut it a half inch too short. These are all, done per the build, and that saves us money. And I really love that.
I think consistency was the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like they would build these trusses off-site, not only for the keeping consistent, so when they bring them to site, the specs are right on and the contractors know how to install them because they've been doing it over and over again, but it also adds to the quality because you don't have to worry about it being constructed the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. So we build... So let me kind of start about our construction process a little bit. We build a monolithic slab that has steel mesh. I think it's 6 inches. And again, these are a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but basically we build a very strong, sturdy foundation for our homes. And then if you're building a frame home, we use this really cool newer technology called zip boards, which is way better than OSB. It's rot resistant, it's moisture resistant. It's wonderful because we can go ahead and dry the house in without having to worry about the exterior elements. And once we get it all dried in and the roof on, we can continue working on it. So if it's a frame home, we're going to use fiber cement board. Some people might know that as hardy board, but it's basically, again, resistant to moisture and rot and pests and things like that. So it's really an amazing tool for us. And then if it's a block home, we're going to use stucco, and we're going to put stucco on the outside. And I think that is also a beautiful look. Many people in Florida absolutely love that stucco look.
Is it sprayed on stucco? Have you ever seen it done? I've never seen it done. I don't know. They build this frame. It's funny looking. It's got all these little like tiny diamonds in it or whatever, and then it's cement, and then I don't exactly I don't know exactly how they do it.
It's like
but
mortar or plaster.
Yeah, so it's just really, it's amazing. You would think as many homes as I've built, I would have sat there and watched them, but I don't really go to the
It's kind of like watching paint dry. It's not the most exciting thing to do.
Usually stucco is like a foam and some chicken wire, basically, is a kind of easy concept to get it. And then they just take it and it's like plaster.
Okay. And what I'm asking is it a sprayed on application? No. Oh, it's a hand on. Okay.
Yeah, ours, I know that. I've seen them putting it on, but like I don't know what the mixture is, or I know it's part concrete, but I don't know exactly what goes into making it.
It'd be more like mortar, but I'm just using plaster as a kind of an idea, give people concept that not too many people probably see as mortar being put on, but a lot of people see plaster with similar concepts between the two, and the way that they apply it is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So going back to that, we're very green, and so we use very energy efficient windows. We use the dual pane glass with the argon gas in between, and they tilt in for easy cleaning. Everything that we use is designed for the Florida market, at least in our area. Again, I can't speak for the rest of the homes in other areas, but for Maronda Homes and in our market in Palm Coast, Florida, I do know what materials we do, use here. So the windows are very energy efficient. We use very energy efficient HVAC systems. We use low water. What is that called when you're
toilets?
Yeah, like, they still are very quality, but they're water saving.
Low flush toilets.
Yeah, water saving, plumbing fixtures and faucets or whatever. So that's really a very cool thing too that we do.
So you seem to be putting a lot of effort into every little aspect of the house to try to make it as good as you possibly can, and then you also offer any kind of ability to go ahead and change that, and with options as well. So
right within the confines of what we'll do. So every floor plan has its base, right? So what they will get if they don't do any upgrades, this is what you're going to get. And then we have another page that has options. Oh, you want a 3-car garage. Oh, you want to extend the lanai. Oh, you want to have a gourmet kitchen. Oh, you want 3 baths instead of 2. Oh, you want this or that. And you can do various things depending on, the floor plan. And each floor plan has its own little nuances. So one of the things that I think is kind of cool that we offer, like in our Carlisle, which is a 2-story, there's 2 bedrooms upstairs that have the opportunity to have a Jack and Jill bathroom. So just those they're big walk-in closets, or if people say, I want these kids to have their own bathroom in their rooms, so those are only accessible to the people in those rooms, because then we have to build another closet, obviously. But then we have a whole another bathroom right there for them. So that's kind of a neat thing too. Or maybe somebody doesn't want a storage, but they want a bathroom or a guest suite. Like some of our 2-story homes, you can do that. You can make you can turn a storage area into a guest suite and maybe have, an added bathroom in there or whatever. So each plan is different. So for me to sit here and tell you what, 14 or 15 plans can do, that would be kind of crazy. But if you come into the office, I'll show them all to you and I'll help you with it.
What's the timeline? When I step into the office and I want to buy a home, from the time that I pick the plan to the time that it would be delivered?
Yeah. So when I first went to Maronda 5 years ago, we always told people 6 to 8 months, and we always stayed within that time frame. And then COVID came, and we had to backtrack there a little bit because it was taking us a really long time, like 18 to 20 months to finish a home in some cases, because we had to wait for windows, we had to wait for trusses, we had to wait for wood, we had to, wait for insulation, we had to wait for everything, right? But then we are back slowly pulling out of that. And so now I'm telling people 7 to 9 months, and we are sticking with that. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to close on a home in September. We started her. She wrote the contract on March 24th, and we are closing on that house September 27th. So we're back to being in the 7-month, 8-month range of getting homes. Now, when you get your contract, it's going to absolutely say, because all builders' contracts say this, we have up to 24 months to build a home. Well, honestly, Maronda doesn't want to do that. Why? Because we've got all the money out. So we're not one of those builders that do construction loans. We don't, we take a small deposit to gain your, you're saying of, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to go through. So it's a small deposit when you, walk through the door and you write your contract, but then you don't pay another penny until you close on that home. So Maronda has all the money out. So that's why I can say that, pretty confidently, because we're not going to cut corners, but we're going to do it right. But we are not going to go on and say, oh, I got to run over here and do this one, or I got to do this or that, or I don't care because I'm still getting money in anyway. That's not happening.
As you mentioned, the post-COVID period, you get Maronda had a problem getting materials because kind of things.
Everybody had.
Everybody.
Everybody did. It wasn't just Maronda.
Right. I should have said that.
Yeah,
and many people, everybody had a problem with labor shortages as well.
And people getting COVID. I remember one time we had a bunch of electricians, and several times during that COVID world thing, his whole crew came down with COVID. Well, we can't, we had to wait for them to be able to come back to work. So I think it's really, it was just a difficult time in every builder's life, not just Maronda, although Maronda, had their struggles as well, but every builder had their struggles.
Is that 7 to 9 month kind of an industry standard right now?
I don't know. I can't speak for other builders. I can speak for myself. I know what I'm seeing. I did a beautiful Livorno, which is 3,130 square feet, that just closed, and the people were freaking out because we had originally talked about 8 to 10 months, and they were moving from New York. And here we are 8 to 10 months, and that's what I'm telling them, and it got ready in 7. Well, they just had to really spin up the wheels there to try to get their home packed up and all of that stuff. So if you're expecting 8 or 9 and it comes 7, so I promised that lady, I said, okay, from now on I will tell people 7 months, and make sure that I'm very transparent about telling people, what, it could be sooner, because that's what I'm now seeing, that that it is sooner than later.
So construction is going a little bit easier.
Oh, yeah.
Materials
absolutely.
are much easier to find and so forth. What kind of challenges are you seeing currently in the market, as far as, I know, like interest rates are high, prices are high. What kind of things are you seeing with Maronda as far as that? Well, challenges for people.
Well, I think interest rates absolutely have been a challenge for every home builder. One of the ways that a lot of builders, including Maronda, are combating that is on inventory homes or spec homes that are available now. Many of us are offering great incentives and interest rates. So, for example, if you use our preferred lender, which is RMC Mortgage, if you use our preferred lender, then we offer 3.99%. But the catch is, and let me go back a little bit. That's for government loans, so VA, FHA loans. Some of them are going to be 3.99, some of them are going to be 4.99, depending. But that is a huge deal for people. That can make or break the difference of them being able to buy a home. But again, it has to be able to close by a certain date. And I think that 3.99 might be they have to be able to close by October 21st, which means they have to find a home that we have ready now, right? So it just depends. There's a lot of things there. But the other way we can combat pricing is to give them some flex cash. Now, the flex cash is not what our September special is, but like I said, we had that all summer long. So now we're offering different incentives, but there is money there to be able to to help people. So we're trying to combat it different ways. Like in September, we're giving away a washer, a dryer, refrigerator, which are typically things that we do not include. So we would include the Energy Star dishwasher, the range, the microwave, those type of things. And one other thing that I love, and I want to just interject it really quickly, is that now we don't do the kitchen exhaust where it recirculates into the house. We actually vent it out the roof. That's part of our Energy Star. And I just love that. And I'm so jealous because I didn't get it in my house. It happened right after I closed, we started doing it. It's like, oh man, but I'm going to eventually get that because I really want it. But yeah, I mean, we try to help people all we can. We want to keep our homes affordable. We want everyone, if they love our homes and they want one of our homes, we want them to have a home. It's not like we're trying to do stuff to keep them, from having a home. So if it's a reasonable, request or whatever, we're going to do our best to make it happen. As long as they're not trying, maybe they have a $400,000, pre-approval and they're asking for 800,000 or something. I mean, obviously we can't make something like that work, but if it's in reason, we're going to try to help them, get the home of their dreams.
One question I have for you, we talked to another home builder, and they said that the houses today with existing and new homes are pretty much equivalent. The price is about the same. So with all the benefits that you're getting from a new home builder, you don't have to replace anything. You have warranties. Everything is new. You get to see it be built and everything like that. Are you finding that to be true as well, that homes are about the same price?
Yeah, I hear that all the time. People come into me and say, why would I buy a home that needs a roof and needs a new HVAC system or a new water heater or whatever? Why would I do that when I can come in here, buy a brand new home, everything's beautiful, nobody has smoked in it, nobody has done whatever they're not happy about, like everyone is different, so whatever is their hot point that they're like, oh no, I nobody's ever done that in this house. They get to start from scratch. So yes, I do see that a lot. People can get a beautiful home for, about the same price and have all the goodies with it.
Okay. So that's pretty good. I think that shows that what we've been talking about, why homeowners are looking for home builders to give them all these options and all these benefits that they're getting from there. As far as Maronda, is there anything special that Maronda offers that no one else offers, or you're pretty much everything you've already talked about is pretty much what they have to offer, and they should go with you because of their better technologies, their common bills, their past satisfaction and so forth? And how is the satisfaction, as far as with the product that's delivered?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. So I feel like there's a lot of things that we do. Maybe other builders do them as well. So again, I'm not speaking for other builders, but for Maronda, what I'm seeing that is that we have what people want. And one of the things that people really want, one of the biggest trends right now are these open floor plans with great traffic flow through them, and flexibility. The flex rooms, like I was talking about before, those are really, really nice and expansive outdoor spaces. We have these wonderful huge lanais in many cases, or the opportunity to put a huge lanai on there. We haven't even talked about smart home technology. One of the things that Maronda does that I love is we give everyone a smart home. So we pay for it for you for 3 years. Basically, what you're going to get is an automated hub, a video doorbell, thermostat control, lighting control. I can go on my phone and I can adjust my thermostat. I can turn on the light outside. I can, it's amazing. Plus, we have a keypad at the front so you can punch your number in and get right in. So that's part of the Maronda home. So we're not just, saying that we promote it. We're doing it. We're giving that as part of our home. And then to expand on that just a little bit, if people desire to, within a couple weeks after they go under contract, they can ask for other things. So as long as they're willing to pay for it, we're going to give you those 5 things. But if they're willing to pay for it, they can get cameras, they can get a high, like if they can get a network panel, they can, and with people working so much out of their homes, some of these things are really important. And so having these low voltage items available to them is really a nice, a nice touch. So there's a lot of things that you can do within that smart home world, but you're at least going to have a basic package.
Am I the only one that doesn't know what a lanai is? I have no idea what that is.
Oh, that's such a great question. Thank you for asking that. Yay. Oh, yeah, I'd love to explain that. Okay, so a patio, this is Florida. This is our speak. I don't know if that's everywhere, but okay, so Maronda speak is if you have a patio, it's just the cement slab, right? The patio slab, right? And then if you have an aluminum screened enclosure, that means it's just basically an aluminum screened enclosure put on the back of the house. You can do that anytime. You can do it, during, like Maronda can do it for you, or you can do it.
That's the lanai, the aluminum screened in.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Let me finish answering because no. Okay.
Because that was good enough. I like that idea all on its own.
Yeah. Well, the better part, this is the part I love, is that if the lanai is actually the concrete or the home, if it's a frame home, built into the structure of the home with its own hip roof and everything. So, and the screen included in it. So it's part of the home, not just, not just a structure put on afterwards.
Right. Okay.
So it's part of the home. So it's very, helpful with high winds and things like that. It's not going anywhere. It's not, the aluminum enclosure isn't going to blow away, right? So, or the lanai isn't going to blow away. So so we call it a lanai if it's part of the structure of the home, and then we call it a screen enclosure if it's, if it's like aluminum screen enclosure. And then if it's a slab, a patio slab, a patio, whatever you want to call it, then it's just that.
So the lanai is a structure that's tied into the concrete slab. It's part of the home. It's not going anywhere.
Correct.
As opposed to the aluminum, which you could take down if you wanted something else.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Absolutely. And it's part of the roof too. So it's, and I'll show you a picture of it afterwards.
So if it's a one-story, the roof is just an extension onto the lanai. If it's, like this place, if it's a 2-story, then it has its own little separate roof.
So, yeah. So basically, it's going to be built into the house either way. It's going to be part of the structure of the home either way. Whether it's a 2-story or a 1-story, it doesn't matter. It's going to be part of the structure of the home.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Does Maronda have any big projects coming up, or are they working on any? I see a lot of builders building small communities and so forth, and having a lot of things going on with that. Is Maronda doing anything like that in the near future that you know of?
Well, honestly, I'm not corporate, so I really don't know. I hear stuff. What I'm hearing is that we're going to offer another community in the future. I don't know when it's coming, to be honest with you. I know we recently closed out one in Palm Coast at Sawmill Creek. So we were out there for a couple of years, and then of course we sold out of that. And so, scattered lots is so wonderful because there's no HOA and no CDD fees. So scattered lots is a huge draw, and your lot sizes are much larger. So the typical, and I'm going to say, I want to say that carefully because there's many sizes in Palm Coast, but the typical lot size in Palm Coast is 80 by 125 or 0.23 acres. So almost a quarter of an acre is what your home is going to be built on. And then, of course, if it's a corner lot, it's going to be larger. If it's a pie-shaped lot, it could be larger, but then you may have less backyard because we have to push the home back further. Palm Coast has very strict regulations about, okay, it's got to be 25 feet back and it's got to have this much side and, things like that. So we have to be very aware of those regulatory things that Palm Coast, requires of us. But yeah.
About how many scattered lots do you think you have in possession right now? If someone was to come right now and look for a house, about how many do you think you might have to?
Yeah, well, technically those that have been released we have about 4 or 5. But to be honest with you, I know we're getting more soon because we just got an email saying, hey, it's coming, we're getting more. But the summer just about wiped us out. We have very few inventory left and we have very few lots left. We go through them very quickly. I sold a house to a lady and she came in just to dream and look at her house and everything. And I had these other people in there and we didn't have very many lots left. When she had been in there, we had like 25 lots or something. And so she told the people, it was great. She told the people, she said, oh my, there's only like 6 left. You better buy because they're, so it's really funny. But people have very distinct preferences of where they want to be. They may want to be in a specific school system, or they may want to be near family, or you just, everyone has, that's what's so nice about Palm Coast. We've got A-rated school systems all over. So wherever you end up, you're going to be in a place that's really, I think high quality. I would live in any section of Palm Coast. I really would, especially if you gave me the house. But but no, I mean, I love Palm Coast. I just, like I said earlier, I just feel so fortunate to be here and to have landed here so close to the ocean. Yet, anywhere in Palm Coast, you can be the ocean in 10 to 15 minutes, depending on where you are. And it's just so great. And we have everything, we have all the stores, and now we're getting a BJ's. I'm so excited about that, but it's a great place to be.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I've been in a lot of places in the world, and I don't think I've found a place, especially a city, that's taken care of as well as Palm Coast, or has that unique feeling. It's like an upscale kind of city, the way that they have designed it and so forth. I was told that it was basically like a retirement city when I first initially came here, and more like a recreational city. Kind of like a place where you go to visit. That people don't really live there, but so many people live here. It's growing so fast too. So if it's someplace that people want to come, they need to move on it quick, is what you're saying, because the lots are going quickly. And I don't know, other than maybe Palm Coast West, where there's going to be a lot more lots open. I don't know what is the lots like right now? Do you see that they're dwindling? Is there still a good supply of them?
Well, you got to remember that real people own these lots, right? It's not just a developer coming in. It's not like Maronda coming in and having a community and parceling off a certain number of lots, and when those lots are all gone, they're gone. but it is kind of like that in a way, because we only have a certain amount of lots that are for sale. And, and again, real people own them. So we buy from real people, right? So whoever has something for sale. And that's why we can accommodate our customers so easily, because if they find, like I sold a Sienna recently to a lady, and she wanted to be near her sister, and her parents were coming with her from the state that they were moving from, and she wanted this particular lot. So we ended up, she actually ended up buying that lot, but if she hadn't wanted to buy it, we would have bought it for her. So, it depends on what people want, but often that happens. I can't even tell you the number of times that has happened where people come to me and say, I really want to be on this lot because of whatever. It doesn't matter why they want it, they want it. So I'm going to help them. I want to facilitate that. I want to help them get their dream. So, I love that about Maronda, that we are so flexible, that we are so easy to work with for things like that. Now, I will tell you that, like during COVID, lots were going so fast it wasn't even funny. And so we do have to go out and do a lot evaluation on the lots. And then we come back to you and tell you what it's going to cost us to do grading, clearing, dirt, impact fees, utilities, all of that. And so once we come back to you with that price, if you're happy with it and you want to move forward, then we'll buy it for you, or you can buy it and that, we'll still build on it. But we don't know that until you choose a lot and we go out and look at it and see how needy that lot is. So it can change, So the nice thing about Palm Coast is, and I know you were getting ready to ask me something. I'm sorry. Hold that thought. But the nice thing, now I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know. Ask me your question, then I'll think about it.
I was going to ask you, do you do surveys on the land and so forth before you buy it, like soil surveys or any other?
That's a great question. Yeah. So typically in Palm Coast, we don't normally need to do that always, but yes, is there soil tests and surveys and all of that done? Yes, but it usually falls within the permitting process, although if people already have that for us, then we're happy to accept that. But we don't build Maronda in Palm Coast. I don't know about everywhere else, but in Palm Coast, we don't build in a flood zone. And the nice thing about Palm Coast is there's not very much of it that is in a flood zone. So that's the really cool thing. That's another really nice thing about Palm Coast, is that most of the lots are going to be okay to use. You can pretty much not worry too much about buying it. Now, I'm not saying if you're buying a lot, don't go out and do your due diligence. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that typically you're not going to have as much problem here as you might in other parts of Florida. I only know Palm Coast, so I don't really know that much about the other areas of Florida. Like I said, I came here, I work all the time, right? I just, all I do is work. So I don't really go traveling and visiting other parts of Florida, so I don't really know all of their ins and outs. But in Palm Coast, when you pull up the FEMA survey, you'll see that it's mostly all, the yellow. It's very little to worry about. We build out in Flagler Estates, and that is not the case. We do significant due diligence out there because a lot of Flagler Estates is in the wetlands. So we want to make sure we're, knowing our costs to mitigate that and things like that. But in Palm Coast, we don't really have too much of that. And I won't say there's no wetlands out here. You do have to be careful. Palm Coast has something called drop lots, and the city designates them as such because maybe they don't have water or sewer, or maybe it's landlocked, so you do have to be careful. I'm not saying you don't, but that's why we go out and we look at the lot, we evaluate the lot to make sure we're not getting ourselves in any, trouble, or our customers that we are trying to make happy and please. So one of the things that I've noticed a lot is turtles. Okay, so if it has burrows of turtles, we can't build, we can't clear, we can't do anything. So Florida Wildlife Control has to come out and move those burrows, and that can add a couple of months to the build. So you have to think about those regulatory things as well, because I've seen that happen several times, not numerous, but several times, especially in certain sections. We'll have turtles and stuff that we have to, take care of and things like that.
Since you brought up floodlands and so forth, and this kind of goes into insurances. Now, you build both frame homes and you build center block homes. Are you seeing a big difference in the builds that you're doing as far as insurance is considered?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
I don't know. Honestly, I know what mine is, but mine is a block house. So we've only been doing frame a short time in Palm Coast, so I really haven't gotten feedback from customers as to how their insurance has been impacted. I know that mine is less than it was when I was in South Carolina. So I think that's incredible to say. So I feel like just where we are in Palm Coast, you're probably looking at, on our block homes, I think mine is now almost 2 years, not quite 2 years old, but mine is like, I want to say $1,100 a year or $1,000 a year. I don't know. It's very reasonable to me. I think I was paying $1,800 in South Carolina. I can't remember exactly now, but, and that was 5 years ago. So I don't know about the frame homes versus the block, and I'm sorry about that. I if I had known that was a question, I would have researched it a little bit. So sorry about that.
It's okay. I know that it also depends on the age of your house. I know I've been told that, and I also, from my personal experience, as my house has aged, my prices have gone up dramatically. I'm paying somewhere around $2,600 to $2,800 a year now, which is more than doubled what I was paying before, when a couple of houses or a couple insurance providers left Florida. And I think I've been told because of the age of the house, they've done this with the new things that they've done as well. But I have a new roof, a new AC, not AC, water heater, so I should be cheaper. I'm going to have to look around again and see if I can find something better. But
Absolutely.
This is a benefit of buying a new home from a new builder instead of an existing home, is you might have also a decrease in your insurance.
Yeah.
I'm saying, talking about fees with respect to insurance, right now Miranda is not doing any large developments. So if you're buying a home from Miranda, you don't really need to worry about HOA fees or CDD fees. But are there any local regulations that will impact a home buyer that will cause like a hidden fee that they need to be aware of?
Again, that's kind of out of my wheelhouse. I always recommend to people, go ahead and go to, call the city, where it's so nice. In Palm Coast, you call somebody, you actually talk to somebody. You're not put on forever hold. So whenever I've had, questions, I just call them directly and they answer. I love Palm Coast. I can't say it enough. It's so nice. But, I joke with people sometimes and say, you know what, we kind of have like a hidden HOA, you don't pay anything for it, but they want the community to stay nice. And so there are fees that you might be assessed if you don't cut your grass, or if, and it gets too tall and somebody complains, you're going to get a fee for it. Or maybe maybe you leave a boat parked out, or maybe you leave a camper parked out more than 24 hours. So things like that, they don't mind you having it there to clean and to get it ready for a trip and things like that. But they don't want that to be a permanent fixture in the community. And every time you ride by, you're seeing this, continually. So things like that are our hidden HOA. But it doesn't necessarily come with a fine. It's just, something to be aware of. So if you want to build something, you're going to have to get a permit for it. They're not going to let you just throw up anything that's going to fall down and make the community look bad. So again, those would be things you would deal with the city directly. And again, you can get a real person that will take you to the right place and tell you, or send you to the right person if you don't dial the right, the right extension. And it's kind of neat how everything does stay really nice because of that.
If I buy a home from Maronda,
Yes.
do they within the first year, because we have that
1 year warranty.
Would they come out and take care of the wild hogs? And do I get to keep them once they're? Who cleans them?
They go.
Don't worry, we're going to cut this out.
They move on. Oh, you can leave it. It's funny. So
but they tear up the grass. It's in not just a little area. They can tear up a whole, like a 20 by 20 section overnight.
Yeah, but you know what? We also have deer still, and it's so beautiful to watch the deer. And I love the wild turkeys. It's so funny. One day I was in such a hurry, and I was riding down the road, and I was going to my house, and I had to wait. I had to sit there and wait for 5 wild turkeys to walk across the road. It's just so funny. But I really do love the deer. I take pictures of them, and I don't know, how can this be such a paradise? I just love this area, and I don't know. You can't do better than Palm Coast.
Palm Coast is definitely beautiful, and I like it here. I've been a lot of places, and I think that I really enjoy the fact that I moved here. My wife's decision to come here was a good one.
Yeah, she did well.
It was also good for our kids and while they were in school and so forth. There was some really good schools here, as you mentioned. In this episode, we talked about a lot of things about another home builder. Once again, I want to go ahead and clarify why we did more than one. We want to make sure that we're not too showing bias. We also want to show there's different home building techniques within Palm Coast that you can look at. Each buyer has their own preferences and what they want to go ahead and do and what they want most in their buying purchase. So we wanted to go ahead and cover that, and so that you can look at it and make your own decisions. We also wanted to show the differences and, also get a little bit of a different inside point of view and so forth. So we hope that this point of view from Maronda was different than what you've seen in the other home builder, and that you can go ahead and make a choice for yourself to see which one you prefer. With that, want to go ahead and turn it over to the guest, which is Beth Eubank, and go ahead and have her go ahead and do her closing and any advice that she might have that be unique to Maronda or her for living in Palm Coast so long that she can share with our guests.
Thank you. So I've really enjoyed being here, and my name again is Beth Eubank, and that's Eubank, no S. A lot of people want to think that I'm kin to Bob Eubanks, the person, and that does the game shows or whatever many, many years ago. Okay, so that dates me, right? But yeah, so my number is 864-363-3279. And my email is very easy. It's my last name, Eubank, B for Beth, at Maronda, and it's spelled M-A. You can remember this by my little trick, right? Marietta, Ron, and Dan, right? So MARONDA.com. And, I'm here for you. I will hold your hand throughout the process. I will take you every step of the way. I am amazingly good at giving updates. Once you start the build, I will give you weekly updates. I will come out and take pictures of your home, not every week, but every month or so. And I use an app called Photo Circle, and I put all of your little videos that I take and your pictures on Photo Circle so that you can access them anytime you want to, and you have kind of a story of your home build as well. And then I just want to help you. If it's right for you, like, we're not the builder for everyone, but if it's right for you, I want you to have that opportunity to have a beautiful, gorgeous home that you can feel confident about, and know that for me, it's not just about selling you. I don't care about selling you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be fulfilled. I want you to have the house of your dreams. So maybe some advice he asked me about. So I want to give maybe a little bit of advice. And one of those things would be, if you're renting, stop. Don't rent, because you can probably own a new home for very close to what you're paying in rent. And I always tell people, look, you are paying a mortgage whether you are renting or not. You're just not paying your mortgage. You're paying your landlord's mortgage. So if you're going to pay a mortgage anyway, pay your own mortgage and begin to get out of the rat race by building equity and having a beautiful home that you can sell in 5 years if you want to move up, or if you sell in 5 years if you want to downsize. It doesn't matter. It goes either way. So again, one of the things that you had pointed out was new versus old. Why would you buy an old house that you've got to make all these changes to? They're charging almost the same price. Why not come to see me, and I'll help you. Again, I will help you every step of the way. But on a less mean note, maybe, I don't know. I just want to encourage you to research thoroughly. Research all of the builders like I did. Go out there, look at them, look at their reputations, read their reviews, visit their model homes, get a sense of what they are doing, and then set a realistic budget and stay with it. Don't let the beauty of the model make you feel like you have to, have that. Stick with what you need. Get your needs and some of your wants. If you can afford all of your wants, fine. But at least work for your needs and then the most important of your wants. And I would say for things like that, it's going to be structural things. You can repaint later. You can do those kinds of things later. You can put an aluminum screen closure on later. But if it's the chance of getting a home or not getting a home, I would say do the structural things that are important to you first. So if you have to have that gourmet kitchen, then that's something that would be difficult to add later. If you have to have that deluxe master bath with the 3-head shower and the tile seat or whatever, that's hard to add in there later, right? So obviously that would be an important thing. So understanding your needs is important, and inspect the quality throughout. So I don't mind you coming. I don't want you going to your home unless I'm with you. But if you call me at any time, I will make arrangements that's convenient with you, and I'll meet you out at the house. And just for liability purposes, we don't want you in the home without one of us. So any Maronda representative will do, but I want you to be with me because a lot of times I know you already and I can help you. If you say, oh, wait, I don't think we did that. And I'll oh yeah, you remember? And they, oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. So I like to be with you if I can. Explore your financing options. Most new home builders, to be honest with you, do offer incentives if you use their lender. And Maronda is no different. We have lots of really great incentives if you use our preferred lender. And then lastly, I'd like to encourage you to ask them about, and us, about our warranties. And I've explained everything here, but ask about warranties. Make sure that they are delivering on what they promise, and make sure that they have responsive customer service.
I was wondering, you also said something earlier about you had a special promotion that you wanted to go ahead and deliver to the viewers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Okay, yeah. So if you come in and see me, or call me is better, because then we can set up an appointment and I can make sure that I get you and I can help you and you get this promotion. So if you come in and see me, I have a $1,500 additional promotion on whatever's going on, whatever we're offering that month. If you mention this podcast, and thank you again for having me, but if you mention that you saw this podcast and you stuck it out through the end, I've got $1,500 for you. All you have to do is walk in and say, Beth, I saw you, and I want my $1,500, and I will make sure you get it.
All right. Thank you so much, Beth, for coming on. We appreciate you here. We appreciate all the knowledge you shared with us today about Maronda, and we hope that you will like this episode. If you do, please like and subscribe and watch our future content. Once again, thank you again for watching The Ripple Effect.